Hello there and welcome to our look ahead to what the papers will be bringing us tomorrow. With me are the political writer and academic Maya Goodfellow and the deputy political editor of The Spectator, Katie Balls. Now, there is only one story in town, of course, the coronavirus pandemic. What the government here is now proposing we should be doing to prevent its spread. Well, the latest advice from the government is urging people to avoid all unnecessary travel and to stay out of public places, as seen here on the front of The Guardian. The Telegraph says now it's time to put life on hold as visits to the pub, restaurants and the theatre are called off. The i-newspaper reiterates Boris Johnson's message, saying people are being told to work from home where possible. The Times headline reads, Britain in lockdown as an empty Waterloo station there in London shows the new status quo. The Express front page is one of unity. We can do it together, as it lists Johnson's new measures. The Metro says it's time to get antisocial and once again outlines the Prime Minister's message earlier today. Meanwhile, the Financial Times focuses on the coronavirus's effect on the global stock market as stocks crash and companies buckle under all the pressure. We're going to start with The Guardian, Katie. PM tells Britain to stay in to stop the march of coronavirus. Johnson's warning as epidemic nears period of fast growth. And we can see a photograph there of people queuing, I'm assuming, to get into a supermarket with their empty trolleys. Panic buying.
And hopefully not doing stockpiling, which is what the government doesn't want people to do.
No.
Now, the PM's message today is ultimately we had the first of what are now daily conferences from the government on the coronavirus and an escalation in terms of what the Prime Minister and the government are asking members of the public to do to work from
the Weather app.
Hello there, you're watching BBC News. I'm Clive Myrie. We're going to be taking another look at tomorrow morning's front pages in a moment, but first our top stories. And deserted restaurants, empty bars. The Chancellor promises £330 billion of support, including government-backed loans and a business rate holiday for those hardest hit. As millions of Britons stay at home for what could now be months, there's a mortgage payment holiday for those who are struggling. All non-essential surgery has been cancelled in England until June to free up 30,000 beds. The Foreign Office tells Britons they shouldn't travel abroad unless absolutely necessary. Schools and nurseries remain open. The Prime Minister said he was keeping it under continuous review. Hello there and welcome to our look ahead to what the papers will be bringing us tomorrow. With me by remote control, Anna Mikhaileva, the deputy political editor at The Telegraph and the political commentator and former director of communications for the Labour Party, Lance Price. It's good to see you both again. Lance, we had a few technical problems with you a little bit earlier. I do apologise, but hopefully you'll be here for the full edition of the paper. So it's good to see you both. Anyway, many of tomorrow morning's front pages are already in and they all lead on, what else, the coronavirus and the measures outlined by the Chancellor today to help shore up the economy. Well, on the front page of The Times, Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, who unveiled the multi-billion pound bailout to keep businesses and workers afloat through the crisis, which the paper says could last more than a year. The Daily Express calls it a £330 billion war chest to keep Britain in business. The Guardian, though, claims the Chancellor's spending vow was met with criticism for neglecting the low-paid. This won't beat Britain, writes the Daily Mirror, saying the fight has been stepped up with emergency measures, including the cancellation of NHS operations. The Financial Times reports that an infection control experiment that was rolled out in a small Italian community at the start of the crisis has stopped the spread of new diseases in that town. And the Daily Telegraph pictures there Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe out of prison in Iran, but wearing an ankle tag. She's been temporarily released as part of measures to curb the country's outbreak of the coronavirus. OK, we're going to start, Lance, with you. The Times, £350 billion bailout launched to save Britain's economy. Wartime government planned. Virus package targets firms. Sounds like a lot of money, and it certainly is. Do you think this can do the trick?
Well, it's a huge amount of money. Some of it help for homeowners, although nothing yet announced for those who
the way it's been done, and clearly they were negotiating before Pochettino was sacked last night.
You're absolutely right. I agree with you, and I really feel for all the Spurs fans who are getting in touch this morning. The only thing I wonder is, was there a moment where perhaps Pochettino realised this was going to happen? And I don't know, maybe he realised it a while ago.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd been talking for a longer time than we know.
Under pressure to play some good football and win stuff now.
Yeah, win stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
The big question this morning is, did Carol make it to Radio 2? If you're watching half an hour ago...
Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Yeah, she had... Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Louise Minchin and Dan Walker.
Our headlines for you at 6 o'clock. Dramatic changes to life in the UK as the government advises everyone to avoid non-essential contact and travel in the battle against coronavirus.
I can't remember anything like it in my lifetime. I don't think there's really been anything like it in peacetime. And we have to accept that it's a very considerable psychological, behavioural change that we're asking the public, the nation to do. But I've absolutely no doubt that we can do it.
Anyone over the age of 70, pregnant women and those with certain underlying health conditions are being urged to be especially careful.
Good morning. New measures to boost business through the coronavirus crisis. The Chancellor's preparing a new injection of